Hi everyone, it's Glory and I am back with the second video in the series of how to have a successful tech internship. Today we're going to be talking about tracking your successes and finding motivation. Again, what's great about this series is that I've created Notion guides to go along with it, so go check out the Notion guides, use them however you see fit best. I'll explain one of the templates that I created for this video in particular moving forward. So let's talk about why it's important to track your successes. Successes kind of sounds like a daunting word. Like, what is success? Like finding the cure to cancer? Like, oh, writing like the best machine learning model? No, that's not what I mean. Successes are more like dubs. Like what are your dubs along the way? What's great is that if you log all the small little things you've done every single week, you'll start to realize, oh my gosh, maybe I've learned this and I didn't know how to do it before. Or, oh, I did give this presentation to a manager, or oh, I have made this headway on this project. You'll not only understand, okay, I've actually made some headway and I'm not actually dumb, but you can tell your manager, oh yeah, let's go through all the things I've done. I actually have them written down. I've kept track of them every week. And your manager's gonna be like, oh my gosh, you're pretty cool for that. You're a pretty dope intern for knowing how to do that. And your manager's gonna be impressed, you're gonna be proud of yourself, and it's all gonna be good. So what I've done is I've actually made a weekly success tracker for you all that you can use on Notion. So let's get into it. I've made a tracker for however long your internship is. So if you're an 8-week internship, 10-week, 12-week, and what you can do is you can go in there and you'll see these different weekly logs. So let's look at this example that I've created, which is this 12-week internship log. And so I go in and I can see all the weeks lined up, the status of whether I've filled out this weekly tracker or not, and then the weekly rating. You might think, what is a weekly rating? How would you rate like what you were able to accomplish, how productive you were, how were you feeling? And my good friend Ankit was actually the one who mentioned to do this weekly rating.
I started using it just to see the ebbs and flows of our jobs as a software engineer. There are certain times you're working on a ton of bugs and you run into roadblocks, and those are weeks that are super hard and ones that you might rate lower compared to ones where you're just pumping out code and feeling really great about it. So you can clearly see the valleys and the peaks, but it allows you to visualize it and also realize that after every valley, there's going to be a peak.
Shout out to Ankit. Each week, I ask 4 questions. What did I get done this week? Any big wins, any blockers on my current work, and any specifics to bring up to my manager. Like I said, for what did you get done this week? I want this to just be a list, like whatever comes to mind. Like you took notes on this, you met with so-and-so, you made this connection, you initiated something. From those, you're gonna say, oh my gosh, what are some big wins that I had? Those you'll be able to use later on either with your manager, in your manager conversations, in your halfway mark conversations, or at the end. If you're stuck on something, it's always good to have it written down so that on Monday, you know, okay, who do I need to reach out to, who do I need to talk to, etc. And then any specifics you want to bring up to your manager. So after you go through these 3 separate things, maybe you talk about the big wins that you had and then maybe a blocker that you need help on. And so what's great is that you have all of this listed. And so then what you'll see is you'll go to week 6 for this example, which is your halfway mark. And you'll be able to say, okay, what progress have you made over the past 6 weeks? The truth is just in these tangible facts. You can't make this up. Then what you can do is that all these different statements that you have in your tracker, when you have your like midway point meet up with your manager and the one at the end, and sometimes you have to write out what you've done, you can change these colloquial sentences to more formal sentences. Tracking success is not only for your manager and to show the progress that you've made, but it's really for yourself, to give yourself the confidence and to make sure that you know that you've been working your ass off the course of the summer. How can you use this company, its resources, and its people to your advantage during the course of your internship? Here's what I mean by this. You don't have control over what project you get assigned on during your internship. Ideally, it's something that you love, but the reality is that you might get put on something that you really don't have an interest in and don't really want to do at all. And if the only thing you get out of this internship is working on this, you might feel fully drained and that you have no interest in continuing with your internship. Let's make this an enjoyable experience for you. What can you get out of it? Here's what I'm saying. Find an external motivator to get you through the course of the summer. Find something that you want to learn and you're interested in. This can be anything from an exact skill to a tool or just an area that you don't know a lot about, but you're like, wow, this is really cool. Say you want to learn an aspect of Figma, or say you want to learn some machine learning process, right? When you're doing your internship, you can set like 2 hours a week and you're like, okay, this is my time where I dive into this. And you go into look into documentation, you look into processes that the company might have, and you can also find people who are really well versed in this area. Who is the person who knows XYZ? During one of my internships, I was fascinated by ethics and AI, and I wasn't working on it. I had never really done anything in it, but I wanted to know more about it. And I found this awesome woman who was in charge of ethics in artificial intelligence in the research department. And I met with her in the beginning of my internship. We hit it off. I learned so much about what she did, and we continued that relationship throughout the internship. So if you're interested in something like that, find people who you can talk to. Is there anyone who can kind of mentor you while learning this? Another motivator that I also used is trying to make some difference in the company that you're at. Say that you care about recruiting. Say you care about recruiting from either your school or maybe underserved communities, or maybe you care about helping there be equality in the workplace, something like that. As an intern, you have more influence and power than you think you do. Not saying that you can control decisions and, make executive choices, but if you want to make a difference and you want to make a change in something, you can do that. If you want to do something with recruiting, reach out to the recruiter for your area. Say, hey, I have this really talented group of students who are in this organization in my school. Maybe we can start a connection here. Or, hey, my hometown, you guys don't do any recruiting from this community college. Maybe I can help connect you here. Or say you're like, hey, the team that I'm on right now is really lacking women, which is a common experience. And I think that there needs to be some culture change. Something that I did was I actually met with my skip manager one summer to talk about some of the issues that I thought existed in terms of just inclusivity on the team. I presented a whole pitch deck to him about what needed to be changed, and he was super receptive, and it was a great conversation. And so if there's some change that you want to make at the company or externally that the company can help with, you have the ability to do that. So just go for it. And lastly, another motivator that is super important is the financial motivator. So if you're like, I don't really want to learn a skill, I'm not trying to exert extra time and energy into making a change, and you're like, you know what, I'm trying to save for some things, I'm trying to pay off some things, you're making money. You're in a tech internship. So let's write down, well, how much money you're going to make over the summer, what are the things that you're going to pay off, what are the things that you're going to be able to save for, what are the things that you're going to be able to buy, and write it out. Make a little tracker. Maybe when you hit your first K or your first 5K, first 10K, you do a little celebration for yourself. And this can keep you going throughout your internship because it's a big deal. Tech internships are, some of the first time that you actually have this access to money and wealth. And it is such a privilege. And it is a really great motivator to keep you going throughout your internship, to just kind of, see this deposit hit your bank account. You're like, okay. What I want you to do is whatever this motivator is that we've discussed and that you want to be, write it down in the beginning of your internship. And I want you to say, okay, this is my motivator. This is my goal. Here are some ways that I'm going to attack this and how I'm going to keep track of this to keep me going. And every few weeks you can say, okay, I've made some headway here. Say it's something that you've learned. Oh, I met with this person. Or, oh, I learned this little tidbit. Or say it's, some initiative you wanted to start. Okay, I made this connection here. Or say it's money. You can say, oh my God, I hit $5,000. Okay, let's go. So that kind of sums up my tracking your successes and finding motivation during the course of your internship. I hope that this was helpful and that you understand why it's important to know the work that you've put into your internship and also have a reason to get through your internship and to not be miserable every single day, because sometimes you just need that extra boost, and sometimes you just need to create it for yourself because it's not necessarily going to be handed to you. Anywho, we have one more video left in this series. Hint, it's going to be all about not burning out during your internship. I hope you like the Notion guides and can use these during your internship. Please share with all your intern friends and let me know if there's anything that you think I should touch on or add in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.